wound up being friends.
Yeah.
You know, like the girl and Julia Roberts, like they hate each other in the beginning, they each other. Then they're hugging each other at one point.
I don't know. I mean, whatever happens, happens.
In 2000, the notoriously charming Julia Roberts became the first actress to earn $20 million for a single film. But the fact that she did not complete her bachelor's degree may surprise many. She is a billionaire. A famous American actress did, in fact, go to college, but she never earned a degree. Even without a bachelor's degree, she became one of the most famous actresses of all time. Her rise to stardom was long and winding, but she is now a household name in the United States. No, it meandered aimlessly, encountering unforeseen hurdles for no apparent reason whatsoever. Want to discover the challenges Roberts faced that shaped her into the person she is now? Then come along as we explore Julia Roberts' fascinating and shocking life in great detail. We all know Julia Roberts as the quintessential American sweetheart. Her charisma, warmth, and acting chops have won over countless fans for the better part of 4 decades, give or take. In what ways did she eventually achieve stardom? The story begins on October 28, 1967, in Smyrna, Georgia, with the birth of tiny Julia Fiona Roberts. Betty Lou Bredemus was a devout Catholic, while her father, Walter Grady Roberts, was a devout Baptist. The family lived in the Atlanta suburbs. It doesn't stop there. She has ancestry from all over the world, including England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Germany, and Sweden. She was reared mostly Catholic, despite her life's ethnic and religious influences. Among her 3 siblings are an elder sister, Lisa Roberts Gillen, a younger half-sister, and an older brother, Eric Roberts, who is also an actor who had a long-term estrangement from Julia Roberts until 2004. I should mention that Emma Roberts, who is both her niece and Eric's daughter, also dabbles in acting pretty effectively, so it's not only the Roberts siblings who are involved in the acting industry. Roberts was familiar with the glitz and glamour of Hollywood's backstage scenes, so the idea of acting was not strange to her. Though they only dabbled in acting once, her parents were both accomplished writers. They actually met while working on a military-themed stage performance. In Atlanta, they co-founded the Atlanta Actors and Writers Workshop, and in Decatur, Georgia, they established a children's acting school, all driven by their love of the stage. Martin Luther King Jr.'s children and others like them went to this school. The brief affair between Roberts' parents began in 1955 and ended in 1971 with her mother's divorce filing, despite the fact that they liked it. In early 1972, the divorce was formalized, ending a lovely home life that Roberts would mourn for decades. Even though she had a rough childhood, she had a fantastic academic career at Campbell High School, where she was a clarinetist and enjoyed her time there. Roberts went to Georgia State University after high school but dropped out. She was so focused on acting that she instead decided to go to New York City. The upheaval in her family life that occurred in 1972, when her mother wed Michael Moats, may have had a role in her choice to relocate as well. This guy was Roberts' worst nightmare. Not only was he violent, but he also weighed her mother down since he was jobless for the most part. Not only did her parents' divorce occur that same year, but Roberts also had to deal with an aggressive stranger who haunted her dreams and brought up painful memories of her life before. Because her beliefs on love and marriage were already so warped at such a young age, this may also explain why Roberts had such a hard time with her romantic life later in life. The birth of Roberts' half-sister Nancy Moats, who died in 2014 from what authorities said was a heroin overdose, was a result of the relationship between the Moats and Roberts. Betty Lou filed for a divorce from Moats in 1983, citing cruelty as the reason, and going on to say that marrying Moats was the worst decision she had ever made. Thus, it seems like their marriage did not endure. In the midst of all this upheaval, Roberts received the devastating news of her father's death from cancer. She was only 10 years old. Roberts may have decided to abandon her dream of becoming a veterinarian and instead pursue acting abroad as a result of these dramatic shifts. After signing with the Click modeling agency to take acting courses in New York City, she accomplished just that. The series Crime Story was Roberts' acting debut, and she played the character of a young victim of rape with great gravity. Her portrayal of the character's hopelessness and terrible circumstances in the February 13, 1987, episode of The Survivor had a profound effect on viewers. That much so that Hollywood ushered her onto the big screen. She then made her acting debut in the 1988 drama comedy Satisfaction, with Justine Bateman and Liam Neeson, playing the role of a band member looking for a summer job. Mystic Pizza, an indie romantic comedy that Roberts had the previous year, had her big break, even though she co-starred with her brother Eric in the 1989 film Blood Red. Playing a young Portuguese-American who works at a pizza business, this film introduced her to the film industry and showcased her talent. Then, in 1989, she made her acting debut in a stage version of Steel Magnolias, a play by Robert Harling. Roberts co-starred opposite A-listers Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, and Daryl Hannah as a young diabetic bride. It would seem that Roberts was at a disadvantage when compared to the other major players on the team because of their immense renown. At this time, she should have expected to be overshadowed. Roberts received a nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the Academy Awards, but her natural talent as an actress virtually begged to be recognized. Furthermore, she was awarded a Golden Globe in the same category, further solidifying her status as an emerging star. The momentum was building on this encouraging beginning. In the midst of her career, Roberts, ever the hustler, set her eyes on becoming a leading actor. Not long after that, she and Richard Gere tackled a daring undertaking in the critically acclaimed romantic comedy Pretty Woman, released in 1990. Unbeknownst to her, this endeavor would thereafter serve as her most significant stepping stone towards achievement. Roberts captivated moviegoers with her portrayal of a freewheeling prostitute with a golden heart. To be sure, every actor has that one project that becomes their bread and butter, their jack of all trades, as the saying goes. With global box office receipts of $463.4 million, this picture was Roberts' lucky charm. Roberts branched out after Pretty Woman. Flatliners, a popular supernatural thriller about medical students who investigate NDEs, was also shot that year and stars her. She had a breakout year in 1991, appearing in 3 big films: the romantic Dying Young, Spielberg's fantasy hook as Tinkerbell, and the suspenseful Sleeping with the Enemy. These films were financially successful even though critics gave them mixed reviews. She came here to escape the hectic Hollywood lifestyle for a while. Looking at it from the outside, this would have seemed like a very hazardous move, and it was. Historically, taking a break when one is at the peak of one's profession has been seen as a certain method to prove one's career is over. Nevertheless, Roberts remained resolute in her desire for tranquility and a break from the spotlight. After that, she disappeared for 2 years, leaving no trace behind. She didn't come back to the spotlight in 1993 until she felt like herself again. This time, I'm Coming After You. Her co-star from the John Grisham-adapted thriller The Pelican Brief, Denzel Washington, also made an appearance. The remarks regarding Roberts' declining star power were completely unfounded since this picture was another smash blockbuster. With almost $195.2 million in worldwide earnings, The Pelican Brief was an enormous triumph. Its popularity eclipsed that of her subsequent films, including I Love Trouble and 1994's Pret-a-Porter. Even 1995's Something to Talk About failed miserably at the box office. But she kept appearing in guest spots, such as 1996's Friends, when she played Matthew Perry's love interest. A year after her understated but significant performance, she appeared in the film My Best Friend's Wedding. In this romantic comedy, the protagonist, a food reviewer, successfully tries to mend fences with her closest friend. But at this stage in her career, Roberts' blockbuster films appeared like simply another feather in her cap. 2 years down the road, Roberts made an appearance in 1999's Notting Hill, which was both highly praised and universally beloved. Notting Hill was first met with skepticism, but she and Hugh Grant transformed it into a global phenomenon with their stellar performances. Notting Hill's success was evident in the figures, as it grossed $363 million globally. This woman really seemed to have an endless stream of successes, didn't she? After continuing her meteoric rise, Roberts had the reunion of the decade in 1999's Runaway Bride, co-starring Richard Gere. Despite the poor reviews it received at the box office, this picture went on to become another economic hit, The New Millennium, at the very top of the food chain, propelling Roberts to even greater heights of success. After much deliberation, Roberts finally claimed the honor of becoming the first actress to earn $20 million for a single film in the year 2000. All of this started when she fearlessly played the part of Erin Brockovich, a real-life environmentalist. The film Erin Brockovich chronicles her battle with a large power provider. Many reviewers, including Rolling Stone's Peter Travers, praised Roberts for that performance. Roberts was able to win the Oscar for Best Actress thanks to this picture, which grossed $256.3 million globally. She became the first actress to be named on the Hollywood Reporter's list of the 50 most powerful women in show industry, which was her second major accomplishment after her first one. Roberts had solidified her position as queen at this stage. In 2001, she collaborated with Brad Pitt for the gangster comedy The Mexican, which was a huge hit, grossing $66.8 million in North America. The same year, Roberts was in America's Sweethearts, another highly acclaimed romantic comedy that became an international smash, earning over $138 million. Roberts broke all previous records in 2002, earning $25 million for a single picture, more than any other actress of her era. Just which movie was this referenced? She portrayed an art history professor in Mona Lisa Smile. The picture nonetheless managed to earn nearly $141 million, despite the fact that critics were divided. Closer, a love drama in which she substituted for Cate Blanchett 2 years later, earned her another Golden Globe nomination. Also, in 2004's Ocean's 12, she was back as Tess Ocean. The unorthodox picture made $363 million globally, proving its success at the box office. Roberts broke new ground in 2006 when she made her Broadway debut in 3 Days of Rain. The show was a smashing success, but Roberts received a lot of negative feedback for her performance. During the same year, she provided her voice for the animated features The Ant Bully and Charlotte's Web. Her 2007 co-starring role with Tom Hanks in Charlie Wilson's War garnered critical praise and another Golden Globe nomination. She was known to branch out and try new things in her acting career in the late 2000s. Playing a mother whose death affected her family's tale in the 2008 film Fireflies in the Garden was one of Roberts' most daring and varied performances as she rose to fame as one of Hollywood's top actresses. Her 2009 film Duplicity co-starred Clive Owen and featured her as a CIA operative. Despite the negative reviews the film's narrative received, her performance was well received, and she was nominated for another Golden Globe. Both Valentine's Day and Eat, Pray, Love, in which Roberts appeared, were critically acclaimed and commercially successful in 2010. The 2011 film Larry Crowne, in which she co-starred with Tom Hanks, showcased her comic abilities but received mixed reviews. Mirror, Mirror, a 2012 adaptation of Snow White, featured her as the evil queen. Despite critical ambivalence, the picture made $183 million globally. In addition, Roberts' 2013 part in August Osage County garnered her 4 nominations for the Academy Awards, among other accolades. The 2014 HBO adaptation of The Normal Heart included her, and she received an Emmy nomination for her performance. It seemed like her success was just beginning. A number of Roberts' mid-2010s projects included George Clooney in Money Monster the same year, Secret in Their Eyes, 2015, and Mother's Day, 2016. She was able to demonstrate her star power in the critically acclaimed Flick. In 2022, she was in George Clooney's romantic comedy Ticket to Paradise. The following year, she played Martha Mitchell in the political thriller series Gaslit. Along with Ethan Hawke and Mahershala Ali, she was in the 2023 film Leave the World Behind, which was produced by Higher Ground Productions, an initiative of Barack and Michelle Obama. Roberts' interests extended beyond acting. She also had a soft spot for old-fashioned charity. She has shown her awareness and inclination for kindness by her efforts and donations to several charity organizations, such as UNICEF. In 1995, she visited Port-au-Prince, Haiti for 6 days and managed to collect a whopping $10 million in contributions. With the goal of increasing demand for renewable fuels, Julia Roberts joined Earth Biofuels in 2006 as a spokesman and later became head of the advisory board. Roberts wanted to demonstrate her dedication to the cause of environmental protection, since she felt passionately about the subject. In 2013, she continued to pursue her passion by becoming a part of Gucci's Chime for Change campaign, which sought to promote female empowerment and fight for women's rights on a worldwide scale. Roberts has also spoken out regarding a number of subjects. She helped raise awareness of the neurodevelopmental condition Rett syndrome in 2000 by narrating a documentary on the subject. The short video, Nature is Speaking, produced by Conservation International in 2014, featured her as Mother Nature, and its purpose was to draw attention to the critical need to combat climate change. Julia Roberts is a master of her craft in both acting and producing. Along with her sisters Lisa Roberts-Gillen and Marissa Yaris-Gill, she is the co-owner of the production firm Red Ohm Films. A creative play on her husband's surname, Motor, written backwards, is the inspiration for the moniker Red Ohm. Red Ohm has been Roberts' go-to for producing her own work, including Eat, Pray, Love and the TV series Homecoming. If that weren't enough, they also oversaw production for the first 4 films in the American Girl series, which brought the iconic doll tales to life between 2004 and 2008. It would be reasonable to assume that she would have no difficulty navigating the business given her incredible life story of achievement and gratitude. Totally incorrect. Roberts has had to manage her job with her tumultuous personal life and the many scandals that have doused her in the spotlight due to her famous status. Now that she's been married for nearly 20 years, the accomplished actress enjoys a happy marriage. But her personal relationships are often in the news, so her dating life must be a dramatic comedy in and of itself. The relationship between Roberts, who was 19 years old, and Liam Neeson, who was 35 years old and her co-star from Satisfaction, began in 1987. They allegedly moved in together in Venice, California, after only a brief romance because they were so head over heels. Unfortunately, for reasons that remain a mystery, their love finally ended. She started dating her co-star from Flatliners, Kiefer Sutherland, shortly after her 1990 breakup with short-lived lover Dermot Mulroney. Their relationship began in 1988, when she portrayed Shelby Eatonton Latchery in Steel Magnolias. They were engaged and ready to tie the knot after a brief but passionate courtship. Unfortunately, Sutherland was left devastated when the marriage was called off 3 days before it was supposed to take place. Roberts had the guts to stop the relationship, and Sutherland subsequently lauded her for it, saying it was the best choice for them both, despite all the complications and potential love triangles. Roberts dated Jason Patric for a short time after her engagement to Sutherland ended in broken engagement. Their relationship was contentious. Despite the many inquiries it prompted, none of them admitted guilt. Lyle Lovett, a country artist, was her beau from 1992 forward. At the time, she was starring in The Player and had a number of other projects in the works. Even when it came to something as weighty as marriage, she was always on the go. She wed Lovett in June of the following year, which was predictable. Media attention and their hectic work schedules were just 2 of the many obstacles that the young newlyweds had to overcome. They were forced to separate in 1995 as a result of this. Roberts, however, looked back on their marriage with fondness and saw it as a miscalculation, not a mistake. Roberts's image is tarnished not just by her commitment troubles, but also by her notoriously diva-like behavior on set. Roberts was nicknamed Tinker Hell for her allegedly tough demeanor and obsessive urge to avoid getting along with people when she portrayed Tinkerbell in Steven Spielberg's 1991 film Hook. It was a sad period for Spielberg while he was working with her. Throughout her career, Roberts was often criticized for her very negative attitude. Roberts was deeply affected by the bad publicity and Spielberg's silence, and she described the experience as a difficult lesson in trust in a subsequent interview with Vanity Fair. These allegations have dogged Roberts throughout her career, and although they may have some basis in reality, it is no secret that Hollywood is notoriously unforgiving of actresses who have strong personalities and set firm limits. How do you feel about Julia Roberts' controversial life? Post a comment telling us what you think.